Hi everyone! Today I've just told you the story of the ass in the lion's skin, which was a fun but really short story. So now I'm going to tell you another story just to make up for how short this one was. That is the story of the Great Race. What's that race about? It happened in China a long time ago, and it involves how all the zodiac signs were created. Let's have a look. Long ago in China, the Jade Emperor decided there should be a way of measuring time. On his birthday, he told the animals there was to be a swimming race. The first 12 animals across the fast-flowing river would be the winners, and they would each have a year of the zodiac named after them. The cat and the rat were the best of friends, but were worried because they were poor swimmers. Together, the two of them asked the strong ox if he would carry them across the river, for they knew the large and hardy ox would likely finish first. "Of course," said the kind ox. "Just climb on my back and I will take you across." At the start of the race, the two animals slipped atop the ox. But what's gonna happen? As the cat and the rat rode atop the ox, the rat pushed the cat into the water, leaving him to struggle. Oh, that's me now. Oh, that's a rat. That's a rat. Ugly rat. Huh? Ugly behavior. The cat let out a piercing hiss directed at the rat. But by then it was too late, and the ox with the rat atop was already too far ahead of the cat. I hope he doesn't drown though. The ox lumbered towards the finish line. The ox was going to win the race. Suddenly, the rat leaped from ox's back and crossed the finish line first. The ox crossed the finish line a moment later. Oh, that's a bit cheating. That was clever. He didn't cheat, but that was a bit lame. That was not very nice. However, the ox was too composed a sort to make a big fuss. Oh, that's a nice ox. Second year of the zodiac was named after the ox. Water splashed forth from the river. The tiger had burst from beneath the water, his coat soaping wet. The water had weighted the proud tiger down, but the well-muscled tiger pushed forth in spite of the burden. His huge paw print bore down on the damp, muddy shore, and with one final fierce stride, the tiger claimed the third spot in the zodiac. The tiger is the third one. You know what? I'm a tiger. What are you? What zodiac sign are you? Can you tell me? The Jade Emperor watched as the trio of rat, ox, and tiger crossed the finish. He applauded them. They would be the first 3 animals of the zodiac. Next to arrive was the rabbit, who hadn't swum across at all. He had hopped across on some stepping stones and then found a floating log which carried him to the shore. Oh, that's a clever bunny. I shall be very happy to call the 4th year after you, the surprised Jade Emperor announced. Over the finish line, the dragon soared swiftly, moving in a majestic aerial stride as it shimmied through the clouds, his long tail streaming and lashing about the calm sky, wind racing past him. Now, you guys tell me, how do you pronounce that word? Shimmied? The majestic dragon shimmied through the clouds? Okay, let's move on. I feel ashamed now. No. You know what? You educate me. Let me know how to pronounce that word. As the dragon made his rapid descent, the clouds seemed to part. The Jade Emperor stood, awaiting the great creature. Why has the dragon not come in first place? He wondered. When the Jade Emperor addressed the dragon, he began to explain the circumstances that had befallen him. Exalted Jade Emperor, on my way, I saw several villagers that were in trouble. Their crops had caught fire and they had been surrounded in a circle of blades. I could not stand by and watch and to put out the flames, I used my breath to extinguish the blaze, snuffing it out like a flickering candle. Also, I saw a tiny rabbit in the river clinging to a log, so I used my breath to push it to the shore. The Jade Emperor smiled again. He was well acquainted with the dragon's kind nature. He was not disappointed in him and named the 5th year of the Zodiac after him. The next thing the Jade Emperor heard was the sound of the horse's hooves as she majestically burst from the river. Only a few strides separated her from the finish line, but something slippery slithered through the grass. Suddenly, the snake surged out, approaching from behind the horse's hooves. Overtaken by shock, the horse recoiled, leaping backwards. The horse let out a high neigh, hooves thrown up towards the sky. With a quick slither, the snake crossed the finish line. The Jade Emperor watched the snake move past the finish line. He did not judge the snake. The snake had merely been clever. The horse lowered her long face, a tinge of shame lingering in her. Poor horsey. Dark, beady eyes as she stepped slowly across the finish line. Fear had cost her the 6th spot. Her legs, which moments ago had carried her in an untamed gallop, were now locked in slow, shaky steps, which barely left imprints upon the dirt, and the 7th year was named after her. Back in the river, the monkey, the rooster, and the sheep all floated atop a raft, which the rooster had found resting by the opposite shore, unclaimed by anyone. Together, the 3 of them worked furiously, using lengthy branches as makeshift paddles. The sticks would often get caught in tangles of unwildly underwater. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I can't pronounce some words. Unwildly underwater weeds, which weaved up from the riverbed, but the 3 of them did not stop paddling. Those brave creatures, severing the leafy binds with forceful branches strokes. When the rooster, the monkey, and the sheep reached the river shore, they let the sheep cross first. Oh, that's so nice. The sheep had been so comforting, and formed such a harmonious bond with them that the others felt it was only right to let the sheep claim the 8th place. If the sheep had not helped foster these bonds, they may not have all made it to the finish line. The monkey claimed the 9th place and the rooster took the 10th place. Coats soaping wet, the dog scrambled across the finish line next, panting as he did so, tongue flapping from his open mouth. The dog was a good swimmer, but because he had not bathed for some time, he had overindulged in the river, frolicking without a care in the water. Oh, the sun sat high in the sky today, and had heated the water, making it pleasant to bathe in. And thus the dog claimed the 11th place in the race. You know what? My doggy would have done exactly the same thing. He would have enjoyed the water and the sun and met up with his friends once finished. Exactly the same. He loves the water. By the finish line stood the Jade Emperor. 11 animals had already crossed. There was only one spot remaining in the Zodiac now. What animal will conclude the race? The Jade Emperor wondered. Over the horizon, a loud, exhausted oink sounded. The pig waddled towards the finish line. Pink skin kicked in dense layers of dirt. Sniffling snout pasted brown with mud. Yet the pig moved at a surprisingly swift gait, little feet locked in a tiny cyclical gallop. The Jade Emperor gave the pig a sharp glance as he crossed the finish line. How has one such as you who possesses such surprising speed fallen so far behind? He asked. The pig snorted as he readied himself to speak. Sorry, exulted Jade Emperor. I was hungry and couldn't resist stopping to gobble something up. I felt sleepy after eating and couldn't help myself. The Jade Emperor smiled again as he peered down at the dirt-covered pig and rewarded the pig by naming him the 12th year of the Zodiac. The pig collapsed into his side, lapsing back into speed. As for the cat, who had been pushed into the water, he finally crawled out, but was too late to have a year named after him. He felt very cross with the rat, and even to this day holds a grudge. This is why cat hates water and hunts rat every time he sees him. The 12 animals of the Zodiac had been decided, and so concluded the great race. The end. Now that's the great story, isn't it? I loved it. What do you think about it? Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. All these animals have such different personalities, like the rat being a bit sneaky, so is the snake, some being clever, some being generous, some leaving their seats to the others. That sheep was so generous, the dragon was so generous as well. The pig, bit lazy. The dog was just careless and having fun, and everybody took the race in a different way, and I thought that was so much fun to see all those different personalities. And I think the emperor thought so too, as he was smiling as everyone was telling him why they arrived at the moment they arrived and order they arrived. Let me know what you think about that story. I think it was fun. I liked it. Okay,